Alrighty. Welcome back to Lenz Comic Corner Classic, Last Known Classics. This is episode number 2176, 2376, and Doubleshot 2270. We have Masterworks Fantastic Four, which is the last one on here before I switch over to the Fantastic Four John Byrne trades and some Silver issues. This Fantastic Four, Masterworks, is volume 23. Which collects issues 251 to 257, Annual 17, Avengers 233, and The Thing number 2. Yeah. John Byrne is your writer for pretty much everything in here. Roger Stern does Avengers 233, which he co-does it with John Byrne on that issue. John Byrne also does Thing number 2. John Byrne does the artwork for Avengers 233, and Ron Wilson does the artwork for Thing number 2. He also does the inking as well. This book covers the period of February 1983 to August of 1983. So a very short period of time. Yeah, for these Marvel aspects, this is actually the shortest I've come across here. Yeah, so basically these are the issues where we go to negative zone for several issues. Yeah, where they battle Annihilus. That's most of what exactly goes on here. Yeah, for pretty much, it looks like for the first few issues, Annihilus has dealt with someone called Terry Galicia, this weird alien who only appears for a couple issues. And then she gets killed for the next issue. Annihilus himself, after this issue, well, does he pop up in the next issue? Yes, he does. And then he apparently gets killed off in here. Then he pops up again in Fantastic Four 289. Yep. It's kind of weird that we have some negatives on story class for 6 straight issues that feature, well, Annihilus. And then comes something really, really weird. We have apparently where Princess Anole of the Skrulls gets killed off in this issue, who have been there since issue 37. Yes, and we have Galactus pop up here, just for a quick appearance. And move over to the Annual 17, which is mostly just a fun Fantastic Four story. And apparently it takes place between pages 18 and 19 of Fantastic Four 257. Yeah, what about the Avengers issue, you might ask? They have this weird thing where it ends pretty much the same thing where, oh, Franklin Richards is in the arms of his mother for some reason. Yeah, and apparently in 254, this takes place where it's continued from 254. It's a crossover with it. So yeah, let's have the Avengers fight Annihilus for the first time. Yes. As for Thing number 2, it's like an Aftermath issue, and it just happens to evolve like a very similar ending. And apparently this takes place right after everything happened in here. The topic they have this book between issues 56 57 for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so really interesting set of issues. It's also interesting John Byrne got a chance to write the Thing. Yeah, I'm not sure why in the world they had to have him give him his own spin-off book, but they did. Yeah, but these issues are pretty good. I'm going to give this book a good 9 out of 10. Yep. Next up we have, we're going to talk about is Fantastic Four. Silver Surfer issues 67 to 75, along with annual number 5. Annual number 5 is the Return of Defenders annual, which we'll get to that. So mostly put what happens in these annuals, these issues. We'll mostly put 67 as a tie-in to an Infinity War, where you have a guest appearance by Doctor Strange and Galactus. This issue is written by Ron Martz, artwork by Kevin West. And throughout these issues, we see some stuff that we see in current content. Like, mostly put later issues from 775, it's a 6-part story where Silver Surfer is gathering up all the heroes of Galactus to basically stand up to him. And he brings back Airwalker, who died back in issue of Thor. Yep. Yeah. So, like I mentioned, it's a tie into it. Star Fox and Firelord guest star this issue. Yep. And if you're curious, how long does the Infinity War stuff last for when it comes to Silver Surfer? For Silver Surfer, it lasts from 67 to 69. Yep. And the finale, they battle someone called Coon, who gets killed off in this issue. Some weird robot guy. 67 starts a brand new story arc known as the Herald Ordeal, where it's basically a debut of Mendibus, who's only here for 3 issues, sadly, from 70 to 72, and that's it. So you have Nova, and basically it's trying to battle Galactus the first time. So they pretty much in the way they bring in Firelord 2, take on Morg, and it's still Ron Martz, and we have Rob Lynn doing the artwork too, and then Airwalker gets resurrected in this issue. Yeah, Airwalker gets resurrected in this issue after being dead for some time, though this is an automaton. Yeah, he's a character who did make his debut in Fantastic Four. Yeah, Airwalker, like I mentioned, died in an issue of Thor, and this was actually his first appearance. He got resurrected in issue 73. Yeah, apparently they just dug him up during this whole story. And they bring in also Terra Tamer. And the whole point of the story is trying to fight Galactus. And sadly, by the finale of the story in issue 75, the double-sided issue, Nova, Frankie Ray, dies. And she stays dead for a long time. And you're thinking, how long did she stay dead for? Well, she stays dead until the Herald's miniseries, where she's brought back to life in 20. The death happened in 1982, and she's brought back in roughly 18 years later. So, yeah, she got killed by Morg. Morg the Execution, the main villain of the story arc. And if you're really curious, though, does he return after this issue? Oh, yeah, he's pretty much a regular character in this book in issue 82. Yep. But what about the annual, you might ask? Well, the annual is part of the awesomeness that is Return of the Defenders. Yep. Where they come back undoing something that Jane Myers did. Basically, yeah, that's just the opening story in this book. Then we have Silver Surfer's Greatest Foes, which is basically detailing thing about Greatest Foes. The reason, then we have the third story focused on Firelord, which, here's the thing, Ron Martz writes 3, basically it's all the stories, but doesn't do all the artwork. Rob Lynn does the artwork for the profile stuff. The opening story is done by Tom Morgan. The reason of insanity is that by Carl Asher. Yep. This annual was a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I give the annual a 10 out of 10. The issues of Silver Surfer, I give those a... I'm going to give them also a 10 because I thought these were really good. Yeah, but sadly and having it where we get to 75 was awesome. Now, you probably would think this, like, why did that stop at 75? Why didn't that continue further? Because that's where the next volume of Silver Surfer Epic Collection starts off. Yep. I'll review it in the future. So yeah. Excuse me, that's pretty much it for particular review. Next up is going to be Kamen Rider Black, and I'm going to be going on break at the finish those 4 episodes, and I'm going to first start with Jujutsu Kaisen, just to catch up with that, and then work on Devil's Part-Timer. Yes, I'm going to start with that. Okay, next view. Bye.